Welcome to the Art of Rebounding. I'm your host, Harold Lefty Williams, former pro athlete, motivator, and believer in second chances. Each week, we'll dive deep into stories and strategies built on positioning, persistence, and purpose to help you rise, rebuild, and reclaim your next chapter. This isn't just a regular podcast. It's your permission to rise again, and this time with purpose. Listen, I am super duper excited today because I have my brother, okay? So many different accolades, and I'm gonna get into what he's doing now. But he's a phenomenal actor. He's a phenomenal husband, a phenomenal father. He's a man's man. He's a man of God. He's a man of purpose, and I'm so glad and honored to be able to call him my brother. Please welcome to the show, my man, Malik Whitfield.
What's up, Lefty?
What's up, bro? Did I do it all right? Was
man,
that all right?
It's lovely, man. I'm happy to be here with you. That's what it's about, baby.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you, man. Listen, this show is all about purpose. It's about positioning. It's about persistence. Take me to the beginning, because people see all of the glory. Mm-hmm. They see all the glory. They want the autograph. They want the photo. They want that moment just to tell you hello, or just to say the famous line. You know what I'm saying? They come in and see the Temptations. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
But they don't know the story behind the glory, right? So
right.
Where do you want to go? Take me from the beginning of that rebound. Take me behind the mountain.
Well, you said something really key, right? Mm-hmm. Purpose. Mm-hmm. And I think all young people, when we're going through our journey and dynamics of finding what it is that moves us, what allows us to feel connected, what allows us to feel seen, heard, the connective tissue of wanting to be of service, not because it serves you, mm-hmm. because it serves so many other people, which in return serves you mm-hmm. and allows you to grow in such a dynamic way. It then changes perspective. And I think when we're young and we have the idea of, I want to accomplish some things, I'd like to do this, I'd like to do that. The journey in this life is, when are you willing to pivot? What are you willing to do to survive, mm-hmm. right? Because we're taught and we're overwhelmed with so many images. What is the definition of success? Mm-hmm. What's the definition of somebody who has perseverance? And so we see all of these crossing the line, finish lines, these benchmarks. Where do we go on from here? We mm-hmm. see these dynamic NBA careers, football careers. What happens when you're injured and God sits you down? And in that moment, what do you choose?
Oh,
so I think I've been fortunate to have quite a few of those moments for myself. I've pretty much lived many lives. Mm-hmm. As a young man, looking back, making decisions and choices based on something, which is, I still identify with today's young kids. How can I get immediate gratification? Mm-hmm. And how does that serve me? Mm-hmm. And does immediate gratification actually hurt me and potentially hurt the other people around me? Mm-hmm. Because when we have something that says, I want it insta, I like to not put the work in and go through the journey, we also walk around with a certain lack of mindfulness. And so as a young man, I walked around with a certain amount of mindfulness mm-hmm. because my situation growing up in New York City, in the Bronx, the home of hip hop, with all of the creators of breakdancing and Kool Herc and all the amazing fathers of the game. We also lived in disparity. We also lived in desperateness, feeling not hopeful. So what are our options? So when I see these beautiful beacons of light in these children, and these men and these women, it comes back to the journey of how many of our kids are gaining access to new opportunities, and just to be put in the presence of something different from their natural habitat, their space of growing up, leaving Chicago, leaving the streets of D.C., being in the grace of gentlemen, not being and hustling and believing that they can only make it one way in Baltimore. I love the way these young kids, just like them, just like me, we all speak a different language vibrationally at a certain point that the young people identify and click to. You know, I talked to this young man one time, and he reminded me of me in so many different ways. And he said, man, I appreciate the conversation, so I'm going to let you get back to your ABC, and we'll talk soon. And that ABC is so powerful, right? Because people want to get from A to Z. They don't want to get to B. They don't want to get to C. So for me, as a young man making bad choices that I look back at now, because when we talk about how do we rebound, I mean, I made choices because I knew that living as a young man in the Bronx at a very, very early age, from 11 years old, I was living to die. I didn't see a end game except the end game that I was comfortable to die.
Right.
And so I put myself in harm's way, whether it been hustling drugs, being with the wrong crowd, being with a group of people that are not necessarily pouring into the community in a positive way, because I felt the frustrations of only knowing my community. There was no reason for me to go to Manhattan if Fordham Road serviced me. There was no reason for me to go to Queens if just a couple of blocks away that serviced me. And so having a closed mentality and having these blinders on, you know, there's a flip side. There's a positive and there's a negative.
Right.
And how do we change the negative into medicine?
That's
right.
good.
And so that process, it becomes perspective and how we see things, but also all of the things that we want that are so superficial, we don't understand even the depths and the level of what is superficial when you're young, because you still haven't become learned.
Yeah.
We haven't become educated.
Yeah.
So that superficiality is so fleeting because it has no substantial purpose, and it's not sustainable. So the money comes, the money goes, young kids yell, YOLO, you only live once. No, you don't. You can live many lives, and you can do them in a right way. So even if you're going down the wrong path, you can make the choice to say, hey, who am I really servicing? And look in the mirror. Am I actually becoming an angel, a soldier for positivity within this universe and God? Or am I actually the demon?
That's deep. Now listen, who was that person that gave you that hope to say, look, this is what I'm getting ready to do. I done overcame this. I see a clear path here. And this person told me that if I keep doing this, I'm going to land where you've landed today.
Well, when I think of that, I think conversations with myself. I think we all have conversations with ourselves.
I know
because and it's good to talk to yourself. It's good to recheck yourself. It's good to know that you have to tighten yourself up. I think we're in an industry, like many other industries, really, that correlate, is that you have to hold yourself accountable. You know, your word must mean something. And you need to show up, not just for others, show up for yourself.
Amen to that.
And it's the process of showing up that tells us and gives us real discernment over time. We don't instantly get it. But when I watched a lot of my close friends take their last breath, when I watched them go through these situations, or I found myself back in the hospital, whether the bullets was flying or I was getting cut up and had to get sewed up, it became those conversations also with myself. Is life almost feels like a game where the coach says, I want you to run through that wall. Really, coach? That's what I got you to do? Run through the wall. And then we get a little older and we're like, that coach really didn't care about me, because he knew damn well me running through that wall, I'm going to have all kind of neck problems, shoulder problems. And so we have to understand, yeah, you're going to play the game, but who you playing the game for? right? And at what purpose is it going to hurt you? So when I had a teacher who introduced me to the arts of acting, Marianne Larkin Reeves, also was married to a big famous set designer in Hollywood. She was my angel. Mm-hmm. She helped change my life. She saved my life. She was fearless and courageous, very petite woman, about 5'1". And when she spoke to me about possibilities of looking into the arts and also showing me what she was doing with other students mm-hmm. that she had already placed in Ithaca and different colleges out through New York, you could tell this woman was not just about the grandiose accomplishments of the Broadway acts that she has done with Marlon Brando back then, mm-hmm. but she also wanted to make sure there was a connective tissue and thread where and how she was going to connect with so many other students, right? And so when I asked her, well, how'd you become a teacher? Because when I met her, I'm at one of the last stops in high school, as they call it, an alternative high school, which I ended up still getting kicked out of. Mm-hmm. But that was a different process. But it was interesting because Theodore Roosevelt, the president, had written a note for her. She wasn't to be a teacher, but because she had a letter from Theodore Roosevelt, they allowed her to teach. And then along the process, she got her teaching license. So there's always this journey where people are like, hook me up. Yo, hook me up, dog. Hook me up. And people don't know the way you show up, you actually hook yourself up.
That part.
You do. You really do. And nobody makes it alone. Mm-hmm. I mean, by the grace of good people, working with good people, people thinking about you or saying, you know what, would you be open to? Mm-hmm. I think putting our head down and pouring ourselves into something that we find that we love, we don't find ourselves waking up going, I just did 30 hours doing this. I shouldn't be doing 30 hours of this every day. Because when you are doing something you love and you're also hanging out with people that you enjoy, we're just hanging out.
Mm-hmm. It's not work. So
it's good business.
Let me ask you this. Someone's listening to this podcast. Mm-hmm. Someone's a huge fan of yours, right? Love your work, and we'll get into that. But they're saying, you were able to do it, but I don't have that support system. Mm. You were able to do it, but me, I just don't have that confidence that you have. Mm-hmm. You were able to do it, but in your world, I have to introduce myself for a living, and I'm just not that outgoing. Mm-hmm. This is your camera right here. Mm-hmm. If you can just speak briefly into that camera, to that person, what would you say?
He, she, spirit of love, there is nothing that you cannot accomplish. I didn't have the resources nor financial resources to pay for finest acting schools and so forth. But I had a mentor. She introduced me to Herbert Berghoff, Uta Hagen, her HB Studios in New York City. She introduced me to Lee Strasberg Studios. And they challenged me, how serious was I in wanting to do what I loved. And for me personally, I just wanted to be on the stage. I mean, I've been really blessed and fortunate to get to film and TV and commercials, all of that other stuff. But all I know is my heart said, if I could just be on stage and hear my voice and allow myself to tell a story of someone else's, it allowed my voice and my spirit and my heart to be seen and heard. And so people will give you an opportunity. A lot of people say, man, hook me up with somebody. And what most people don't realize is someone else has already asked that question, and then they've gotten to the place, and then they didn't show up. And then they had stories, well, you know, my girlfriend, my boy, we kind of got into it, but you know what, I could do it tomorrow. No, there is no tomorrow. There's today. And so what you do today, you don't put off for tomorrow, helps you to move forward. And I say that because when I sat down with Herbert Berghoff and my eyes were wide open. Can I do this class? Can I do that class? Can I do this class? They said, yes, but in order to do the classes, you now have to become the secretary and file papers and pages and students and blah, blah, blah. And I had to do that every weekend. And then they said, well, you want more classes? And you'd also mop the floors. And so that allowed me where I financially couldn't afford it. And then I was also able to do so with Lee Strasberg. It allowed me to be able not only to be in the building, but it also allowed them to understand how serious I was in showing up. And so I think a lot of people get an opportunity to show up. And some people don't realize you have to show up on your worst day. And then if you, and anyone can do this. You just have to understand what Mother Nature is, and that's patience. You may want it today, but it might not come to next month. It might not come to next year. So we all need a support system of people that say, hey, don't give up, keep going, keep moving, because it's in our uncomfortable times that we're actually allowing ourselves to know how to respond, how to show up, how to polish our lives, not just say, well, things are all good, because, I mean, it's real easy when things are good. I mean, man, everything's coming together. It's wonderful. But what happens when things just start to fall apart? And they can fall apart spiritually. They can fall apart mentally. They can fall apart physically. I just physically can't do it. And how do we put those pieces back together again to keep continuing to move forward? So my journey is go through the steps. Go through the steps of that self-check. And if you believe you can't make it, I'd like you to use the mirror technique. Look in the mirror. If you're depressed, if you're sad, and just say, I'm sad. I'm depressed. I'm sad. I'm so depressed. I'm so sad. I'm so depressed. Nobody want me. I'm so sad. And after 100 times, you're going to probably start laughing at yourself and go, I'm done with all the sadness. I'm done with all. Let me go get to where I need to go. But these exercises, when you at least know some of them, they allow you to have different tools in order to move forward. We all get stuck. We all get uncomfortable. We all do jobs we don't like to do. Some pay the cell phone bills. Some pay the lights. And some might give you enough money to even put down for a house or a car. There's no 2 days, days the same, and there's no two jobs necessarily the same. But if you end up in good company, then the possibilities are endless. So yes, if you choose to do this, choose it. But when you choose it, don't unchoose it. You'll be fine.
That's good. That's good. I feel like I got to clap on that. I feel like I got to clap on it. Listen, here's the thing, man. God will change the plans for you. If someone's listening and you need to hear that God will change the plans for you. God will change it. And I often tell my children that when they start a process to build a car, they had everything in mind. Yes. Somebody said, somebody going to get out here driving so fast, they need to slow down. We better have some brakes just in case. They thought, oh, man, it might rain. We might want to go ahead and make sure it's a windshield.
You're telling my story right now. You're telling my story, dog.
So somebody said, well, it might get a little too hot. Somebody gonna live in Vegas somewhere, out in Phoenix, and it's gonna be super hot.
Yes.
We might want to put some AC in this thing.
I'm gonna share this with you. I'm gonna share this with our people, our loved ones out here. So in 2003, I also had quite a few motorcycles, love bikes. 2003, I dropped my motorcycle. I went into a coma for 2 weeks. So all the things that I was doing and planning to do, that was all pause, halt, stop. I was fortunate enough to have a doctor save my leg, but going through all the surgeries, my lungs started to collapse, went in a coma. So once coming out of it and going through my rehabilitation and figuring out where does life go from here, I was so thankful the way that God sat me down, because it gave me a clarity and appreciation, not only for my loved ones and my families, but it also gave me an appreciation for my time differently. What am I chasing?
Yep.
Am I chasing the next job? Am I chasing the studio movie? What am I chasing? And what quality of life am I chasing? So I'm fortunate to, I always look at the opportunity to reinvent myself in different ways and be malleable to that and be flexible to that. But I just know that so many people have gone through so many different struggles, difficulties, whether it be family, personal, addiction, whatever it is. There's nothing that you cannot accomplish. But we have to all know that it's one day at a time.
Right.
No 2 days the same. And if it's to be, it will be. You know, most people want to come in the industry and they just want to hit. And when we talk about that word sustainability, I mean, you can be the shooting star. But we want you to be the star that people come to and they look at every single night. And that takes a different kind of work.
Anybody can do the push-up. Can you do 100 and hold it?
Yes.
Can you hold it in that position?
Most people start the games off just like in basketball, football. Start the game off. We ready? You ready? We ready. Let's go, dog. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. You got that? You locked in? You locked in? I'm locked in. You locked in? Yeah. But the funny part is you really get to tell who people are at the end of the game.
That part.
All the energy done dropped.
Yep.
Body language different.
Yep.
Head not confident. Where's the poise now?
Yep.
Where's the thrill for this moment?
That part.
And so our fourth quarters are more important than our first quarters.
No, that part. I was a closer, so I know what you talk. You speaking my language. So come fourth quarter, I know what's going on. And 2 minutes left to go, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I got to be the one to either take the shot or put us in a position to get a better shot. I can't be affording to turn over this basketball, and I'm not going to do that.
And this is what's so beautiful about your podcast, right? Because what people believe is I need to be they see Steph Curry, phenomenal, iconic, right? Michael Jordan's, right? They want to aspire to be the Steph Curry 3, the such and such and such. And what I love, even because I love to do yoga, I've been doing that for the last 23 years now, my hot yoga, which always gives me my time to step outside of myself, my brain, my head, just listen to the instructor and follow directions, right? Just peace, find my breath. But what's more important, and I love what one of my teachers said at one of my classes was, you don't have to do anything except just be you. And it is in the breathing and allowing yourself to just be you that you're actually creating a space for someone else to just be them.
Yep.
And when we allow everybody to be themselves in the same space, we find out how dynamic and beautiful we are in our full bloom.
That's good.
So you don't have to force yourself to be the closer.
Nope.
You don't got to force yourself to be Mr. Assist. You ain't got to force yourself to be Steph Curry. But the more you just gravitate to what it feels to be comfortable to just be you.
That's good.
It's magic.
Let me say this because we're running out of time here. So
I might be, I'll do this.
I already know, man.
Come on.
Listen, we might have to do a part 2. Listen, the thing about that is certain things that are open on the PC won't open on the Mac. And when you're talking about what you might have to be, it resonates with me because I was a phenomenal scorer.
I know. I saw you. I saw you back when.
You know what I mean?
Back in the days, killing it.
And so when you come into the system where there's a system, you have to be able to plug in to both servers. You got to be able to, when I pull it out, that USB drive or whatever, it needs to be able to plug into the PC as well as the Mac. And everybody can't plug into every system, and you have to be able to. And I hope that you're listening, and for the viewers of you watching, that you have to be able to plug into the system. Real quick, because we're running out of time. Listen, first of all, everybody loved you on everything that you do, but your role in the Temptations was iconic. That's dope within itself. But there is a new show that season 2 is getting ready to debut, Beauty in Black.
Yes.
On Netflix.
With
9/11, September 11th. So please make sure y'all go support my brother. I promise you, he is so approachable, but he from the hood like me. You come nice, he gonna be nice. I promise you, man. He how you doing? Oh, you okay? You're so like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy how you like where it is. Talk to me real quickly, 30 seconds about the show, what you like about it, your character, all of that.
Well, what I love about the show is it's like it's like smoking mirror and glass. It's it's the mirage of what people believe and they want to ascend to, what they want. But once you get really close, you got to understand that it comes with a lot of levels, that make other people uncomfortable, and as pristine as it may look from afar. Ooh, there's a lot of work to maintain with outside appearance. And the closer you look, just like going through plumbing, you realize, there's a lot of gunk in there. And you got to do the work to clean that out. What I love about this character that Tyler created for me, that I feel so thankful and really grateful for him
Shout
writing.
out to Tyler Perry.
Shout out to Tyler. Because, honestly, I feel, and this is just me, he could write anything for anyone. But I also felt honored that when he called me about this, I knew we were going dark. He told me. I said, okay. So it's the kind of role that is, I don't try and look for the moments to bring them back. I look for those moments to push the edge and the boundaries. However, I definitely have to take a spiritual cleansing when I'm done with him. I had to leave him. I had to leave him where he needs to be.
Yeah.
He ain't walking off no film sets.
That's good. That's good. So listen, everyone, make sure that you tune into that. My very last question before I close. I'm not sure if it's an easy question. I have to ask everybody this question who comes on. Your Avengers, this is your five who are going in to send the mission to win. To win. Now, I want to take a different spill to it. It might be, you can answer however you want. It could be basketball. It could be personal people who have helped build you in life. Your five, your Avengers that you taking that five with you and they're going to get it done. Go.
I'm taking Martin Luther King with me.
Okay.
Always about the word, always about the vision. Always understanding the greater dynamic of what unity brings. I'm taking my dad with me. Okay. Businessman, dreamer, educator. Allowed me to understand not the concept of just fatherhood, but how do you entwine fatherhood and have dreams as a father, but also have to take care of family and also have to make sure that you take care of corporate business and what that looks like. And to set that up for me and lay that out as an early age, it was very overwhelming, but as time went on, I said, became very underwhelming. And I believe that that's essential for all of our kids. My other third, I have to take my mama. Bless my mama, 93 years old. I've been so fortunate. She's my spiritual guide. She's my rock. She knows when she taps in and she steers me a particular way, she's always allowing that much more compassion and empathy, not just for others, but for myself, that says, wow, okay, I have more clarity of where do I want to go and what path I want to continue on. So my growth as a human being, as a man, that's always in work. That's in progress. And some of these benchmarks I get very excited about, but I know that no matter how much my benchmarks are important, it only takes a second because we're interconnected with our loved ones, and when they're not good, we're not good. So that's my third. My fourth would be Mary Ann Larkin, my angel. You always need somebody to come step in your life, give you an extra boost. I find that me doing random acts of kindness is very important for me. I don't necessarily share what those random acts of kindness are. I don't need a camera with them. There's one thing that always bothered me with my mentor, who was so kind to me, and it drives me. It drives me in such a good way today. But she not only gave me so much more culture in my life, but even when she class personified, took care of me, or took me out to dinner, or took me to see another play, and told me to fine-tune some stuff, look at Brian Gumbel, study XYZ, do all this other research. She never allowed me to pay for dinner. She never allowed me to take care of anything. When I had the fortune and the nervousness of joining the union, she paid for it. When I thought about coming to California. She bought the ticket and said, "I want you to go and don't look back." And so that was always frustrating for me. So I find so much joy in making sure whenever I'm able to do certain things for people, those random acts of kindness, that is me paying honor to a woman who has done it for so many. So that's my 4, and my last is going to be my 5, to round it all up. My last is going to be my daughter.
Talk your talk.
So when I had my motorcycle accident, my little Lexus Whitfield, when I had my motorcycle accident, I remember I could hear my child running around the house, and I had bought her this little bracelet, her ankle bracelet, and it had bells on it. So I could tell wherever she was coming, and I could tell when she was coming closer to me. And so the beautiful part that started a different perspective for me in life, in business, even as a parent and father, I remember I couldn't do anything, right? 7-8 months in the hospital. I'm just lying on a couch trying to get myself together. And she would just climb up on my lap and lay on my chest. And I knew I was where I needed to be. And it was poured so much healing and love into me. And so I believe that when you have a starting 5 like that, our job now is not to celebrate our birthdays, and I can celebrate your birthdays, but it's even more important. I want to start seeing us do this. I was so blessed and fortunate with some of the ex-mayors in Chicago and a bunch of people that came together, opened their homes up. We have to open our homes up to other people, and we have to celebrate them. And because that vibrational frequency is healing, that vibrational frequency is everything. And so that's my starting 5.
Man, I love it, bro. Listen, thank you so much for being on the show. One of the things I know about you and what I appreciate about you is that you are a connector to connectors. You're an influencer to influencers. You don't mind embracing someone who you believe in. Thank you for believing in me for many years. Thank you for just always being a phone call away. Thank you. Like, that means a lot to me.
Listen, it's the same.
And I don't like bothering you.
It's the same.
You be busy too. So
Listen,
I don't
you
really
never
like
bother
bothering
me.
you.
You never bother me.
You know what I mean? But it touched my heart when you were like, bro, I'm out of town. Soon as I get back, I got you.
That's right.
That meant
Come on.
That meant a lot to me, bro.
Listen, we showing up for each other. That's
You know
what we do. You know.
Yeah, and I value you, man. You have no clue. I love you. I appreciate you. We definitely going to do this again.
Yes.
1,000%. Listen, I hope my listeners out there are paying attention. I hope my viewers out there are really appreciating the show. That's it for today's episode of The Art of Rebounding. Remember, the fall isn't what defines you. It's how you rise that writes your legacy. Whether you're rebounding from a loss or recentering your purpose or just learning how to stand again, know this. You're not alone. You were never alone. You were made for more. You were built to bounce back. Until next time, keep showing up. You heard Malik talk about that. Keep positioning yourself. Keep pushing with purpose, because your rebound, it's not coming. It's not just coming. It's already in motion. That I can promise you. Find me on social media on all platforms at Lefty Williams 42. I'm always down to hear more about your comebacks and how you were able to bounce back and make it happen. Until next time, always remember, dare to dream.